Hello, everyone. I am live, right? So I'm live in my free branding group, and it always takes a little bit. It takes a while before it actually really is visible. Um, so if you hear me, say hi so that I know who is it there. And even though, so you need to give StreamYard permission um, to for me to see your name. It's a one time only thing, and then it goes. It's gone again. But just so that StreamYard, so that I can see your name if you have a question for me. So, what am I going to share today? I'm going to share with you today why I became a brand strategist. So I thought maybe you like to hear a little bit, learn a little bit more about who I am, where I come from, my choices, stuff like that. And so uh, let's start with what is a brand strategist? Now, I am one of those people, and raise your hand if that is you too. I might have changed my LinkedIn description at least, I don't know, 50 times, 100 times, I don't know, so many times. Hi, Perdita, nice to see you. Um, and so if you are a little bit like me, and I know many of you are, like you're multi-passionate and very sensitive and old soul, and you're not the deep thinker, and you're not the kind of person who just um, sticks to one thing. You always try to find meaning with everything you do. So then your job description always changes with you, right? Um, so my job description has been all over the place for many, many, many years. And when I became an entrepreneur, when I started freelancing in 2002, I had no idea what to write on my business card, because back then we still had business cards. And it said, so it was in Dutch, and it said communicatieproducer, which is a communication producer. Because someone said, well, you're not just only from the thinking part, but you're also the doing part. So this always has been a huge thing. Well, I'm not the only one, right? So in essence, I'm a brand strategist, and a brand strategist is someone who uh, looks at people and their business and the thing that they want the most, and then bring everything together. Meaning, if a person has a brand, and that brand is so that is something that I'm going to teach you next week, right? So let's say you have a creator brand, and um, you want to teach people um, uh, how to you're a designer, for instance. You're a designer and you help people create amazing houses, and you have a creator brand, and so everything needs to be aligned: your text, your brand voice, your positioning, your values, everything need to be aligned, so that the people that you want to reach and you want to talk to, and you want to make your clients convert into clients, can feel and see who you are. So that is basically, in short, what a brand strategist does. Now, I believe that we all have a really deep desire to somehow make a difference and to touch people and to create some form of change. And that is probably, if you're listening to me, that is probably what you want. But it often takes us a very long time. Hi, Livia. It often takes us a very long time to find our unique spot. And that is because somehow you and I, we cannot do something that is not meaningful, that is not, I mean, we can do it, but we always try to find deeper meaning in everything that we do. Now, I was told when I was at high school, I was told that I unfortunately she doesn't have what it takes to achieve anything in life. That was literally what my high school teachers told me. So, um, and I was very political active, and because I wanted to change the world. I just couldn't believe the things that I saw, and I wanted to change that because bringing change into the world, right? So the only thing I knew how to do that was to rebel against everything. Um, and so my teachers didn't really like that. So I was 100% convinced that I was really stupid. And um, because that was what my teachers told me again and again and again. So when I cleaned up my high school stuff, I was really surprised to find exams that I had A's for or really high um, results. Because in my mind, I was just really, really, really stupid. And I knew I was not really, really stupid, but I thought I was intellectually not very bright. So then I went to art school, and whatever I did, it was never good enough. And I wanted to create art that meant something, and so I did architectural design, and I wanted to create stuff that um, that would completely change everything. So I was a rebel student as well, singing Revolution to play that. Oh yeah. So high five for the rebel students, right? So um and I loved art with all my heart. I really, really loved it. And but then one day I was in a bookstore and I looked at all the books out there. And so a book about Louise Bourgeois and a full book about Rembrandt and Van Gogh and what have you. And I suddenly thought there will never be a book about me because I'm not good enough. What I create is not good enough. So the I made everything so completely out of reach because there are thousands and millions of artists who don't have a big monogram book. That's just like a few of them. But to me, that was proof that I could never amount to anything. So in my final year at art school, I quit art school because of perfectionism. Like it was 100% on perfectionism. So I studied art history, and I still don't know what made me do that. Um, but it was really easy. It was the easiest thing that I'd ever done. And so that was how I found out that I wasn't that stupid. Um, so I focused on Asian contemporary and avant-garde art because that nobody had done that before, and of course that was just what I wanted to do. And so I studied Indonesian art, and I did research in Indonesia, and I studied Indonesian, of course. And then I started curating international art exhibitions, like exhibitions with Indonesian artists and Dutch artists to commemorate um, 50 years of independence for Indonesia. And but what I noticed was that I gravitated naturally towards the marketing part, towards the branding part. And because to me, that was the easiest way to touch people. So if this is a lesson, if ever you are in a situation um, where you notice that you naturally gravitate towards something different than what you're actually being hired for, that means something. So to me, the marketing and the branding part was like the most amazing part. I really loved that. I loved that I could influence people in such a way that I could persuade them by um, to read what I had written, to come to exhibitions that I had created. So I became this person who did it all by herself because I genuinely love that. Um, oh yeah, my major depression. So then, while all this happened, I got a depression, and then that went a little bit. That healed a little bit, and then the next depression happened, and that took me 10 years to overcome. And that was really hard. Um, but I'm one of those high functioning, depressed people who never missed a day's work. So I had this, um, I was really good at hiding. And so I just kept working. And then I started working at a large visual identity business. And so one of the things that I did was I got the difficult clients because somehow they were convinced that I was really good with difficult clients. So one of my clients was the part of a bank. I'm not going to tell you what bank it was because it's like a secret and stuff. And so I was hired by um, a, a part of the bank to create a new website because they wanted to be different. So they were rebelling against um, the old ways. So what they did was they took me into the secret part where nobody else could come, and even um, there was no you couldn't call or anything. And I helped them create a completely new website and um, brand, which was really, really fun because I learned a lot about branding and about the bank mostly, and about the way people make money, which is absolutely crazy. The things I could tell you, but I won't tell you because I can't. But um, I love doing that. So I worked for environmental foundations. I created the uh, the visual identity for Staatsbosbeheer, which is for the Dutch people, it's forest conservation. And so they had um, they needed an overarching visual identity, and I created the workbooks and everything for them. So um, oh, and I already did that when I was an independent person. So what I want to share is that it is important for each one of you to look beyond your job description. And as entrepreneurs, you already naturally do that because um, it's something that somehow we do. So let's say you are trained as a copywriter, for instance, but you notice that in your copywriting, it is easier for you to help people. Um, let give me an example. Okay, you're a copywriter. You write copy for people, but then you find out that you have this really that you have this almost clear void or clear sentient or clear hearing ability to hear what people really want to say. Then do not hide that, use it. So use your differentness, that everything that makes you different from um, the normal things, use that. Because that is where your gold is. If you are someone, if you create clothes or fashion, and it is your um, uh, it's in your zone of genius to look at a person's body and immediately know what she or he or they should wear, then use that. Do not hide that. Do not use it as an afterthought, but use it as a forethought. Tell people, I can look at someone and immediately know what you need. So, um, um, use your uniqueness, use everything that makes you different, use everything that um, makes you stand out, and that you might um, and use it. So now here's the thing: many people feel apprehensive about it. Many people feel this is weird, or I see things, or I hear things, or I get messages, or what have you. And then they sort of try to hide it, or to ignore it, or to not listen to it. And I'm begging you, please listen to it and use it. Thank you, Ruby. Yeah, it's so perfectly understand. So use your different perspective. If everybody says, but it should be white, and you say it should be black, or it should be whatever, if your perspective is different, make sure your clients know about your different perspective, because we live in a world with 538 and growing every day businesses. 538 million. In the Netherlands, there are 75,000 and growing coaches. And only a very, very small amount of all those coaches can make money with their uh, their trade, with the thing that they learned. And they've been going to all kinds of educational institute stuff. They paid thousands and thousands of euros to become a coach. And now, because they don't have a brand and they don't know how to do it, or they try to be normal, nothing happens, because normal doesn't work. Only different works. In a world with 75,000 coaches, you cannot say, I'm a coach, and that's it. You need to differentiate yourself. So, all the things I've been going through and that you've been going through, you need to bring that into the world and tell that to the people that you want to work with. Okay? So, now one thing that you can do today is go back to your childhood. And I'm 100% certain that almost 100% of all of you always felt, I am different. And then you thought that that was a burden. But in reality, your differentness was a blessing. So what you do is go back and find out what it was that made you feel different. And so for me, it was because I was always a rebel. My way of thinking was always different. Um, I just I just wanted to read instead of talk, and I could feel people. Um, I could feel when they were lying. I could feel when they were sincere. I could feel everything. And so for today, go back to your childhood and your youth and as a young adult and see what made you feel different, and see how you can use that differentness in your business. And so that could be by explaining people, hey, do you know that my outlook on my trade or my profession is completely different than that from my peers, from my competition? And so that some people will say, oh, but that's weird, I don't want to work with you. And that is okay. So they go, repel, and so that you can attract those who say, ah, that's me. I completely have that too. I hear you, I feel you, I see you, I get you. We are in alignment. Okay? So that is something that you can do today. And then next week, we are going to meet up for an entire week every day, and I'm going to teach you exactly your your special blend, your archetypal blend. And so we start with a special quiz that I created. That's actually only for my Brand to Real You clients. And I'm going to tell you about Brand to Real You. I'm going to help you with your brand. And so it's going to be a really wonderful week. It's going to happen in the free group, but you need to um, um, subscribe, join officially, so that we can send you all the information. Um, that's it for today. I wish you a beautiful day. And remember that you are always loved and that you are an amazing human being. Okay? Bye. Oh, and if you have any questions, write somewhere, right under the post, and I can get back to you. Bye. Bye.